Hello, everyone. My name is David Heflin. I'm the founder and executive director of Broken and Mended Incorporated. We are a Christian resource and support group based ministry for people living with chronic illness and chronic pain. And we endeavor to connect hurting people to Jesus and each other through all the different resources that we have available, whether that be support groups or our annual conference or seminars or our blog post or podcast and various other ways too that we continue to develop. But I'm leaving this message for you today because we have a new resource I wanted you to know about, and it's called Purpose in Pain, Rediscovering God's Purpose Through the Pain of Chronic Illness. It's written by me, published by Stock Publishers, just came out on May 8th. I wrote the first keystroke on this book 3 years ago, almost to the date. I don't remember the exact day, but it was sometime in May of 2023 where I began this book. And over that time, I would work on it off and on and really kind of picked up the pace here in the last year to help make this book a reality. But what inspired me to write it is just the plight of people with chronic illness and chronic pain when faced with all the things that chronic pain and illness has taken from them and realizing that life may be gone. How do they grieve that life? How do they lament that life? And then how do they move forward into the life that God still wants to meet them in, still wants to bless them? And that's what we're exploring in this book. And so we talk about the losses in the first half of the book, the loss of dreams, the loss of financial security, the loss of time, the loss of relationships, the loss of dignity, and the loss of mental health. But in the second half of the book, we call them gains, not because necessarily we would have chosen to go through what we did to have these things, but nevertheless, we recognize that some of the things that we experience when Jesus walks with us through our suffering and in our suffering are things that we may have not even been able to realize without going through chronic pain and chronic illness. Things like being able to depend on God more fully because we had to learn to do so. And so there's a corresponding gain to every loss from the first part of the book. The gain of knowing God for who He is, the gain of serving God for something more than money, and it goes on like that until we end with the gain of shalom, of well-being, of a future in which we will no longer know any pain or death. And so it ends on a very hopeful note, and I hope it allows people to transition if they kind of get stuck in that old life they can't have, don't know how to move forward into this new reality. I pray that this will help you do that. It's born out of my own story, my own suffering, and also the Bible and my biblical training and the 20 years as a pastor and a preacher. And also I interweave a whole bunch of other stories from people in the chronic illness community and how they have suffered, but they have also found God's blessing. And so I think this book would be a blessing to you. It's not long. It's only about 150 or so pages, and there is a Kindle version. There will be an audio version one day, Lord willing, but we're not quite there yet. But I just wanted to let you know that this is available. You can find it on Stock's website. I think most people are a little bit more accustomed to going to Amazon to get their books and a whole lot of other things. So I'm going to put the Amazon link in the video description, and so you'll be able to find it and click on it there. And you could right now you could choose between softcover, hardcover, or Kindle. They're all priced accordingly, so the cheapest version is the Kindle version. But I think this is like $21. I think the hardcover is like $38 or something like that. But I hope that you can get it for yourself and maybe get it for someone else who's going through this too. Maybe get it with a group of people and you guys go through it. There are reflection questions at the end of every chapter, so it's great for going through it as a Bible study, a support group, however you want to, term that, but just something that you can go through with others. Or maybe you have a loved one that's in a real bad place right now and you want to encourage them. That's what it's here for. And so I hope and pray that you will take advantage of it. And thank you for listening to this video and for considering purpose in pain.